Hey y'all, it's Cam. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual, and that's because this video is about why I'm running, and there's no short answer to that. I've had several people ask me why I would challenge a 7-term incumbent. Well, that answer isn't political, it's personal, and I've had a few people tell me that I should have waited and allowed Sheriff Jones to mentor me and train me up to fill his shoes. And that would make sense if I was intending to keep things the way they are, but I'm not. This is about leadership and the things that I experienced firsthand. Prior to law enforcement, I was an officer in the Marine Corps. Marine Corps' leadership philosophy is based around servant leadership. That means those under your charge don't work for you, you work for them. As a leader, it's your responsibility to make sure that they have everything they need, training, resources, equipment necessary to effectively carry out the job you're asking them to do. But more importantly, it means that you know your people, you care about your people, and you look out for their welfare, physically, mentally, and professionally. In November of 2024, I was involved in an officer-involved shooting. That night, post-shooting, Sheriff Jones was notified, and the first question out of his mouth was, "Is the media there?" The answer to that was no. There's nobody here that wasn't already here. And that was essentially the end of the conversation. Never once did he ask about me or any of the other deputies there on scene. Following that, I was placed on administrative leave, and a few days later, I met with the state investigators to give them my statement. While I was there, I got a message saying I needed to be at the sheriff's office later that afternoon to meet with the agency psychologist. Went to that meeting, and shortly thereafter, I was told, "Hey, you're cleared for duty, see you at work tonight." To this day, Sheriff Jones has never said a word to me about that shooting. Fast forward to late January, early February, somewhere in that time frame, we had a range week where we were doing firearms qualifications for everybody at the sheriff's office. I was out there as a firearms instructor, and Sheriff Jones showed up one day. He shot for a while, and at one point he was standing in the back of the range talking with a couple of people. And I walk up, and I say, "Good afternoon, Sheriff, how's it going?" Plain as day, the look on his face told me, I know I'm supposed to know who this guy is talking to me, but I have no clue who this guy is talking to me. That was eye-opening for me because it was clear it wasn't personal. It just shows a clear disconnect between leadership and the people that are actually doing the job every day. Fast forward to July of 2025, I was involved in another shooting. I took the life of a man that was holding a 2-year-old child hostage. And when I pulled that trigger, the child was in his arms. For the next few minutes, I didn't know if that child was alive or not. That was the longest and most terrifying time of my life. So those few moments, I didn't know if I had just saved a child's life or if I had just taken one. The child was okay, and for that I'll be forever grateful. Following that, I was once again placed on administrative leave, and a few days later, as expected, I got a phone call wanting to know if I could come in and meet with the agency psychologist once again to get back to work. This time I told him no, I'm not ready, and that I would let him know when I was ready. Because I had some issues sleeping after that. There was lingering anxiety from those few moments of terror where I didn't know if I had just taken a child's life or not. And I made it a point that I was going to stay on administrative leave until I heard from the sheriff. I heard from him a month later. It's that month that I was on leave. Like I said, there was a lot of prayer and manual labor that went into it. And it was during that time that I truly believe the Lord put it on my heart that this is what He was calling me to do. I debated whether or not I was going to make this video, but in light of recent events, I decided to. On April 15th, Investigator Sheets was shot in the line of duty. He was subsequently transported to hospital at UAB. I went up to visit him last weekend, not for political gain like Sheriff Jones would say, but because he's a friend of mine, and I care about him. I wasn't surprised at all to find out that Sheriff Jones had not been up there to see him. Following Monday, I spoke at the Smith Station Republican Club meeting, and Sheriff Jones was there as well. Not to speak, just to rub shoulders into politics. The entire time I was there, it kept going through my head that you can make time for this, but you can't make time to go see one of your own people that was shot in the line of duty. Well, lo and behold, come to find out, on Wednesday, after being called out by his own staff, Sheriff Jones finally went up to see Sheets. Not because he cared. It was just a check in the box. Now, this campaign isn't about tearing anybody down. It's about building something better. It's about making sure everybody at that sheriff's office that wears a badge, every man and every woman, knows that they have leadership that truly cares about them and truly supports them. Not just in words, but in actions. It's time for a change. And the day to make that happen is May 19th.